Hello, beautiful people. This is Bart from Coding into Health. So let me start with checking in on you guys. How are you guys doing? How is the family doing? How are you doing? Especially in these turbulent times of COVID-19, coronavirus stuff. I just want to check in with you. How are you coping with the situation? How are you dealing with the situation? Let me know in the comments. Okay? Let me know how you're dealing with it. I believe this is happening for a reason. And I do believe it has to do with a certain evolution. It has to do with cycles of evolution. That's what I believe. That's what many of us believe now. So I will give you my take on this perspective. I believe that in fact we are going through an evolution in consciousness, an evolution of humanity. And I also believe that in order for something new to begin, there has to be something else that ends first. So in order to have a new world, there has to be a death in order for a rebirth to occur. So you will always see this phenomenon of death and rebirth. So I believe now we are in the death phase, and then after the death phase occurred, we will be going into the rebirth phase. So the death phase can be pretty hard for a lot of people because, let's face it, we have all certain mindsets, we all have certain programs, and we like to stay within these mindsets. We like to stay within these programs. So when things start to change beyond the mindsets, beyond the conditioning, we get afraid. So it's very important to understand human psychology, because now everything is changing in the world and people are getting scared. But realize why. It's just because we all have mindsets, we all have conditionings, and we like to stay within these conditionings. So whenever the world starts to change, whenever the death occurs, which is happening now, you're being confronted with something that's outside of your comfort zone, outside of your mindset, outside of your programming, outside of your conditioning, and that's painful. And that can trigger a lot of fear in people. So what I think is important right now is to see that bigger picture of what is happening, because that will allow a lot of fear to transmute. And a second thing that I would like to encourage people, so aside from seeing that bigger picture, seeing what is really happening, opening the third eye, seeing what is truly happening. Second thing actually is a little bit similar, has to do with the sheep becoming the wolf. It has to do with the sheep becoming the wolf or a lion, whatever you want. And this speaks for itself a little bit, but let me clarify what I think. We are also going through a transitioning where we have always been relying on authorities to believe something. And we are going to shift to a place where we will be relying on ourselves more. So we will be relying on ourselves for guidance, authority. And we will also be learning to be more discerning about what is true and what is not true. We will be opening our third eyes more. And by opening these third eyes, you're opening discernment. What is true, what is false. So it is actually, right now, there's a lot of people not being able to discern what is true and what is false. So there's a lack of third eye opening. The third eyes are closed. People cannot really see what's happening. People are afraid. And I think in order to be able to see what is truly going on, in order to open that third eye, I think it requires a certain spiritual practice. I think it will also it's beyond spiritual practice. It's actually an all-round taking care of yourself. It starts with healthy nutrition. It starts with minimizing toxicity exposure. Because one of the reasons our third eyes are closed is because of toxins, like the calcification of the pineal gland, so on and so forth. We have to detoxify our physical bodies. Specifically the brain and the third eye and the pineal gland, so that we can start to pick up more. We can start to see more. I think the first step is to cleanse these areas, the physical toxins. And then you can start to do spiritual practices as well in combination with that. So if people would start to implement spiritual practices such as meditation or prayer or yoga or breath work exercises, could be pranayama, in combination with a diet that minimizes a nutrition that minimizes toxicity, then we will inevitably open our third eyes. Inevitably that will happen after a while. So I think that's one big stepping stone for us to do in order to grow from sheep into wolves, in order to get back into our own power. Because the moment you see what's happening, the moment the awareness is there of what is happening, the moment you see past the illusions, is the moment you can start to get into your own power. So it's almost like first you see, then you tap into your own power. First you see, then you're tapping into your own power in the solar plexus. That's what I'm getting here, That's what I'm getting. First you have to see what's happening, then you can get into your own power. So first the sheep has to actually see what's happening. It has to take off its blindfolds. The sheep has to take off its blindfolds. And then the sheep can tap into its power and transform itself into a wolf, which is that human that recognizes that, look, I'm not accepting falsehoods, I'm not accepting illusions, I'm only accepting the truth, and I'm pursuing that path. It's by believing in yourself, tapping into your personal power, and acknowledging that that's the only thing you're going after. And also standing up for that. And I think that the third step that we have to do is, after we see the truth, after we tapped into our personal power, to stand up for what we believe. So that could be solar plexus, that could be the throat chakra as well. Then the third step must be to congregate, to assimilate, to unite in mass numbers. Because the only way the higher power can be defeated, in a sense, the only way we can have what we want is by accumulating into one big unit. So that's the third step. It's the opposite of separation, which they're trying to accomplish now by wearing the mouth masks, by doing the social distancing. You feel this separation from each other. And we have to do the exact opposite. We have to start to become closer with each other. We have to start to see each other as equals. We have to drop the differences. We have to unite and cooperate and make this a global effort somehow. That's the only way. That's the sequence of events. See what is truly going on, tap into your power, speak your truth, and cooperate, come together as one. So guys, if you're feeling somehow confused with this whole situation going on, it's okay. It's normal. It's kind of understandable. I urge everyone to take enough time for yourself and to see the bigger picture, to constantly reframe yourself and try to see that bigger picture. Because it's very important. If you get caught up in the daily turmoil of fear, you lose yourself. This is not acceptable. We have to take time for ourselves to zoom out again, to zoom out again, to zoom out again. Every single time, zoom out, fearful, zoom out, fearful, zoom out. See the bigger picture. See what's truly going on. Yeah, it's very important for all of us. That's it, guys. Hope you like this. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will speak to you very soon. Let me know down in the comments, guys, what you think about this. What do you think is the first step that we should be taking? Alright. Bye-bye.